I helped the girl next door finally untangle what was weighing on her. After that, I panicked that my family might find out. So that very night, I packed my bags and raced to the airport like my life depended on it. The moment I boarded the plane, I lost my composure and urged the crew to take off immediately. I had barely collapsed into my seat when I glanced out the window and saw dozens of black cars speeding straight toward the plane. My face went pale. It felt like every drop of blood in my body froze. Qi Youyou. She was coming for me. I looked down at the old mark still on my body. One glance, and she'd understand everything. If she caught me here today, I'd never be able to stay by her side again. As the convoy drew closer, I stared out the window in despair. The next second, a dazzling woman stepped out, surrounded by people. Even though I knew she couldn't possibly see me inside the cabin, panic still swallowed me whole. I wanted to smash the window and jump out to escape. Just as Qi Youyou was about to reach the plane, it suddenly began taxiing down the runway. In barely 2 minutes, we lifted off the ground. I watched that breathtaking woman stop in her tracks and slowly shrink in my view until she vanished beneath the clouds. 7 days later, I flew back to Qingyang City on a commercial flight. Days of running around had left me in terrible shape. If I faced Qi Youyou like that, she'd see through me. So I spent a full week abroad recovering, until I finally looked normal again. I'd already learned Qi Youyou was leaving on business today. I chose today to return, hoping to make it look like we just missed each other. But I never expected her trip to be postponed until tomorrow afternoon. I immediately changed direction and headed straight for Qingyang's biggest bar, Sheng Yu. It was peak hour at the bar. I entered the dance floor, moving casually to the beat. Even the bar's dim, chaotic lights couldn't hide my handsome face. My naturally refined air still made me impossible to ignore in the crowd. On the dance floor, quite a few women had been watching me for a while. One casually dressed woman in particular kept her eyes glued to me and quietly squeezed closer. Noticing her approach, I gestured for her to stop and moved to the other side, but she ignored me and kept pressing closer. Her hand also crept toward me. Just before she could touch my clothes, I caught her wrist firmly. With a light tug, I sent her stumbling back a few steps. The people around us instantly moved away. I straightened my clothes and slowly walked toward her. You came to bar to hook up anyway, didn't you? The woman's words abruptly stopped. I stepped closer, staring at her coldly. I dressed to stand out, because I like it. Not to please anyone, and certainly not as an excuse for your filthy thoughts. Remember this. Before trying to get to know someone, learn some respect first. I lowered my hand and left the dance floor. Cheers and applause instantly erupted around me. At the same time, I spotted some friends I got along with, waving me over to their booth. I went over, grabbed a drink, and clinked glasses with them. Everyone cheered at how well I could drink. I shrugged. Nothing special. I casually pulled out my phone and saw a message from Qi Youyou. I froze briefly. During those 7 days abroad, I posted daily updates to fake a carefree vacation, but I barely contacted Qi Youyou at all. Since growing up, this was the first time I'd gone so long without speaking to her. Now even a simple text from her was enough to make my heart race. I quickly wiped my hands and opened the message. Qi Youyou asked, "Where are you?" I replied, "Sleeping at the hotel. I'll be back tomorrow. Where are you?" Hee. Sister Youyou. Did you miss me? I really missed you, Sister Youyou. I'm behind you. Come have a drink with me. Ugh. My legs went weak from shock, and I nearly fell. Luckily, someone beside me caught me in time. Are you drunk? I shook my head, took a deep breath, and calmed myself. I kept muttering. My friend looked baffled. What are you saying? I can't understand a word. Nothing. I smiled. An elder from home wants me to go over for a drink. It's just one drink. What's the big deal? I turned and headed to Qi Youyou's booth. The woman wore a dark long dress, lounging lazily on the seat. As I approached, she glanced over at me indifferently. I'd been full of bravado a second ago. Then I dropped my glass and stood before Qi Youyou with my head lowered. Sister Youyou, I was wrong. I'm sorry. I deeply repent. My soul itself repents. She lazily swirled the wine in her glass, the corner of her red lips curling slightly. What did you do wrong? I answered seriously. I shouldn't have come out partying this late. The moment I finished, she stopped swirling her wine. She stared at me. That single look made my heart pound wildly. I couldn't help remembering that night 7 days ago. She isn't here to settle that score, is she? He. Sister Youyou, is it too late for me to run? What do you think? I think I can. My smile vanished. I stood up, turned, and ran. But before I got 2 steps away, a group suddenly surged over and surrounded me. I immediately saw the woman from earlier walking toward me. She said smugly, "Thought I couldn't find you? Today I cut her off immediately. What about today? What are you going to do to me? I questioned her aloud, and didn't yield. I calmly raised my hand, and brushed her hand away. I stayed distant, without the slightest mercy. Even those around me, even that fierce-looking woman, froze on the spot. She never expected a man who looked so gentle to act so decisively. After the standoff, I was getting tired. I planned to use the chance to leave, but just as I turned, my eyes landed on the woman on the sofa. She leaned aside, lightly holding her wine. When I looked over, her red lips curved. She tilted her head back and drained the glass, her gaze never leaving me, as if everything was under her control. My heart sank. I'm done for. I probably wasn't getting away tonight. Sister Youyou had deliberately leaked news of her trip, just to lure me back and catch me. I'd have to face this tonight no matter what. As expected of the calculating Miss Qi, I walked over to Qi Youyou and sat directly beside her. Sister Youyou, those people look really scary. The instant I said that, the whole place fell silent. Qi Youyou, however, looked completely unfazed. She said, "Move over there." "No. Look at those people. They look like gangsters, and they want to gang up on me." The whole group opposite us was dumbfounded. What are you even talking about? Who's actually the weak one here? Who was the one fighting just now? Cease. Look at her. She's so fierce. She's nowhere near as good as you. The woman instantly lost her temper. I don't care how many sides you have. Listen carefully. I'm taking you today. What's the use of complaining to some woman? Why don't you ask around? Everyone here knows Sister Hong. I shook Qi Youyou's arm. Cease. She actually said you couldn't help me. How could she be so awful? Touching my hand was bad enough, but she even said you're useless. Cease. I won't tolerate anyone insulting you. No one. Qi Youyou grabbed my wrist and asked seriously, "She touched your hand?" "Yeah." When her gaze swept toward that woman, her eyes looked at her like a lifeless object. The woman backed away repeatedly, but seeing all the people she'd brought instantly gave her confidence again. I don't care who you are, but let me tell you, in this area, everyone gives me some respect. Guys, stop them. Then, the bar lights suddenly came on full. The doors were pushed open from outside. Security staff hurried forward and politely stopped the group, putting an end to the chaos. Once things settled, all the bodyguards looked up together and called respectfully, "Miss Qi." The struggling woman instantly froze. "Miss Qi? That woman is actually Miss Qi?" I'm finished. Completely finished. Qi Youyou was decisive and fair, with an excellent reputation throughout Xinjiang circles. The woman looked toward Qi Youyou and saw me still talking beside Miss Qi. So scary, Sister Youyou. I was terrified. Good thing I have Sister Youyou. But the woman could clearly see. There wasn't a trace of panic in my eyes. Qi Youyou was even smiling at her, yet in her gaze was an indescribable chill. The woman's heart instantly sank. She'd really gone too far this time. She'd only wanted to hit on someone, but never expected to offend. The rumored object of Miss Qi's affection. The woman's eyes slowly went from trembling fear to lifeless despair. Qi Youyou said calmly, "Same rules as always." Then she linked her arm through mine and walked lightly past the woman. After leaving the bar, I leaned slowly toward Qi Youyou's ear. "Sister Youyou. A-Chen, I'll tell you a secret. The secret is this." I suddenly shouted, Sister Youyou, I have a girlfriend. While Qi Youyou was still stunned, I pushed away from her and ran the other way. But before I got 2 steps, 3 or 4 bodyguards blocked my path. Then the woman's gentle voice sounded. A-Chen, come here. I froze. I thought, I'm done for what I know about her. The gentler she sounds, the angrier she is. I probably can't keep messing around, but I really don't want to surrender quietly. After all, what I did 7 days ago was way out of line. If she really wants to settle that score, will I even make it out of this bar? I gritted my teeth and turned around, giving Qi Youyou a resentful look. I pretended to sound aggrieved. Fine. I'll be good and listen to Sister Youyou. But after 2 steps, I ruthlessly tripped myself and fell flat on the ground. Ouch. That hurts. I shouted pretty loudly, while carefully peeking at the woman ahead. Seeing no reaction from her, I quickly kept playing pitiful. I'm so miserable. I only came back because I forgot something, yet someone still has to yell at me. Yelling is one thing, but I fall and nobody even cares. If I'd known this, I might as well not have come back. Then at least, I wouldn't be sitting here with no one caring. I complained pitifully again and again. The woman who'd been standing by the car in fury heard my complaints and let out a soft sigh. Then she took several deep breaths, closed her eyes, and thought, calm down. He's the person closest to me. Don't get angry. After mentally calming herself, she turned back to me. I looked at her pitifully and held out my hand for her to pull me up, though Qi Youyou looked like she didn't want to deal with me. In the end, she still pulled me to my feet. Once I stood up, I held Qi Youyou's hand and thought, so what if she's an old fox? I still have her wrapped around my finger. Handling her is child's play for me. Qi Youyou led me back home by the hand. When the servants saw me limping, they went on full alert. The entire Lu residence lit up at once. When a medical team arrived as fast as possible, they saw the scene and froze. I sat on the sofa, while the lofty Miss Qi crouched beside me, applying medicine to my swollen ankle. I unhappily pulled my foot back and complained, Sister Youyou, be gentle. It hurts. Why don't you just leave me alone? Qi Youyou held my ankle and said without looking up, don't move. I'm almost done. Seeing Qi Youyou react like that, I got a little angry too. So I said, I don't care. You're being so cold to me, and you even yelled at me. I don't want to talk to you. Go away. Hearing my unreasonable tantrum, she looked down in silence. Then she softly said to me, A-Chen, we'll talk about the rest later. Let's treat your injury first, okay? I snorted and said nothing. Qi Youyou sighed and said, I'm sorry. My attitude was bad just now. I'll make it up to you later. Let's treat your injury first, okay? I was satisfied and answered right away. Since you've sincerely apologized, I'll forgive you. I'm not as petty as you. Qi Youyou laughed in exasperation. Yes. Our A-Chen is the most generous and handsome. Her coaxing cheered me up. I quit fussing. My ankle was soon treated. Qi Youyou even went to the kitchen and made me plain congee. As I ate, Qi Youyou looked at me and suddenly dropped a question. A-Chen, you still haven't explained. What's this about a girlfriend? I casually made up an excuse. Well, we're not together yet. I just kind of like her. I pretended nothing was wrong as I ate, not daring to look at Qi Youyou's reaction, but I could feel her gaze turning cold. Then Qi Youyou pressed on, what's her name? How did you meet? I put down my bowl and asked, Cease. Are you doing a background check? Qi Youyou stared at me, arms crossed without saying a word. I had to keep up the lie I'd started, so I forced myself to keep making things up. She's a former college classmate. We're not even together yet. If you interrogate me like this, how am I supposed to date her? Qi Youyou asked coldly, what's her name? I stubbornly said, I'm not telling you. Qi Youyou called my name unhappily. A-Chen. As she spoke, she stroked the bracelet on her wrist. Seeing that gesture, I knew I'd made her angry again. I knew I'd pushed enough and couldn't fight her head on. So I softened my tone and said, Sister Youyou, we're only classmates right now. We're not officially together. I just have some feelings for her. I'm still thinking about it. I paused and continued. Look, 7 days ago, I played games with her all night. We argued over something small. I got so mad I flew abroad on the spot. That's why I said I'm still considering it. Her temper is that bad. How about you be my girlfriend? Qi Youyou asked suspiciously. You play games with her all night? Yeah, you know I love gaming. I met Qi Youyou's eyes. She often plays with me, sometimes all night long, but I don't think that's healthy. As I spoke, I pulled out my phone and showed Qi Youyou my game history. The latest record was still from 7 days ago. The final match was early that morning. While Qi Youyou checked the timestamps, I secretly watched her expression, wondering if she believed me. When Qi Youyou finally looked away, I pretended nothing was wrong, and even sighed. Sis, it's not that I won't tell you who she is. I just don't think it's necessary. I might not even date her. Qi Youyou didn't answer right away. After a pause, she simply said, then don't date her. My reply turned a little gloomy. I'm done talking to you. I was already in a bad mood. Bringing this up just makes me sad. I'm going upstairs. I got up and walked toward the elevator. Qi Youyou watched my suddenly normal gait and teased. A-Chen, your leg doesn't hurt anymore? I realized it and immediately cried out, then deliberately limped into the elevator. As the doors closed, the smile faded from Qi Youyou's face. Meanwhile, a bodyguard beside her respectfully reported with a laptop, Miss Qi, the hallway footage from 7 days ago has been restored. Qi Youyou looked away from where I'd gone. The bodyguard opened the laptop before her, and the footage began playing, but it hadn't played for long. Before the screen went black, the room instantly fell silent. Qi Youyou's eyes were deep and calm as she stared at him. Cold sweat poured from him. Please forgive me, Miss Qi. The footage had been damaged for 7 days. I gathered top technicians from China and abroad. This is the best we could restore. Hearing that, Qi Youyou's tone grew even gentler. I gave you time to restore it, and this is what you give me? Miss Qi, please give me one more chance. I can restore it. 2 days. I'm giving you only 2 days. If you still can't do it, I assume you know the consequences. When I returned to my room, I collapsed onto the bed, completely drained. My heart was pounding like crazy. Several messages came in back to back, but I couldn't even check them. Only after I calmed down did I pick up my phone again. They were all from the same person, Xieli Dong. He's been my friend for 10 years, and a top cybersecurity expert, a computer genius. He co-founded a well-known cybersecurity company in Xinjiang with me. All my messing around with Qi Youyou was simply to buy time. Force Xieli Dong to alter the game records shown on my phone. Find a way to get the original surveillance file. A-Chen, I have an idea. You could actually just admit what happened that night. Don't you want to become Qi Youyou's husband? 2 birds with 1 stone. I frowned and replied, no, I don't want responsibility to be what binds 2 people together. When it comes to love, I won't accept one-sided feelings. I love Qi Youyou, so she has to love me too. Only then does that love count. Besides, I'm far too ambitious. My methods aren't exactly clean either. She might think I'm some kind of freak. What scares me most is her looking at me like I'm a monster. Just imagining it is unbearable. I steadied myself and put away my phone. I just stood up to wash up when Xieli Dong, who'd into the chat, suddenly called me. Got a job. A-Chen, a commission just came in. Xieli Dong kept me guessing. He paused, then continued. You'll be very interested. My mouth twitched. Don't tell me. Qi Youyou came to us to investigate the man from that night. Ha ha. Xieli Dong nearly died laughing. If that were true, that'd be hilarious. But unfortunately, as the woman at the very top of Xinjiang, she has her own professional team. She doesn't need outside help. I stopped playing along and asked directly, then what is it? Xieli Dong answered slowly. Here's a hint. The client is from the Sheng family. I gave the exact answer without thinking. Sheng Yanzhi. Xieli Dong applauded me, impressed by how accurately I'd guessed. Then he asked, but there's one thing I'm curious about. Can you explain it to me? What? You deliberately leaked news. that the uncle missing for 18 years was returning to seize control. How were you so sure Sheng Yanzhi would come, instead of someone else from the Sheng family? I smiled and said, Sheng Yanzhi has been famous since childhood, and is even more highly praised now. But Sheng Yanzhi's mother feared he'd show his edge too early, so she kept him restrained. That left Sheng Yanzhi dissatisfied, always wanting to prove his worth. Xiaolidong chuckled and picked up the thought. So once the news got out, the others in the Sheng family would pay attention, but wouldn't act. Yet the proud and arrogant Sheng Yanzhi would see. This is the perfect chance to prove himself. Now I get it. Don't worry. I'll arrange a perfect meeting for you. I'll send the address later. After ending the call with Xiaolidong, I received the location to meet Sheng Yanzhi tomorrow. Holding my phone, I murmured, without realizing it, 18 years have already passed. I couldn't help falling into old memories. My real name is Sheng Chen. I'm old Master Sheng's only blood descendant. The current head of the Sheng family is my elder brother, but he was born to Madame Sheng outside the marriage. After the old madam died, the old master took pity on him and raised him as his own child. After the old master had me, he focused on grooming me to become the Sheng family's heir. But when I was 8, the old master suddenly disappeared, and my elder brother tricked me onto a car bound overseas. But fate wasn't done with me. Qi Youyou. So I grabbed onto that one lifeline and stayed by her side while building my strength. Now, after years of careful planning, I will return the Sheng family fortune to its rightful owner and make them pay what they owe. I arrived at the cafe where I'd meet Sheng Yanzhi. I waited a full hour. Before he finally showed up, I studied the man before me. Although we'd grown up together as children, after all these years, both of us looked completely different. If I hadn't known who he was beforehand, I truly wouldn't have recognized Sheng Yanzhi. His arrogant voice rang out. Sorry, I had a short meeting, so I came a little late. But there wasn't a trace of apology in his manner. He was the Sheng heir, and Qingyang's most handsome man. Making someone wait half an hour seemed natural to him. Some people couldn't even get a meeting. I shook my head and said, It's fine. I just got here too. Then I offered my hand and introduced myself. Lu Chun, I'm handling your commission. Sheng Yanzhi only gave me a condescending acknowledgement before going straight to the point. Hello. I'm arranging a gathering in 3 days. Mr. Lu, can you bring my uncle there? I nodded. Of course. As for the price, Sheng Yanzhi gestured toward my phone. Mr. Lu, check your phone. I raised a brow and took it out. A bank deposit notification had arrived. I silently counted the money. Young Master Sheng really is generous. Not only double the fee, but an extra sum on top. I heard. Miss Qi has a private business gathering tonight. With this money, Mr. Lu, I want you to find the location and give me an invitation to the banquet. My hand paused at Sheng Yanzhi's words. Looks like this young master's target is my sister Qi. Things just got interesting. I curled my lips and asked, Young Master Sheng, are you planning a chance encounter with Miss Qi? Miss Qi and I are the best match, whether in family status or appearance. Unfortunately, we've always lacked the chance to meet. Then I heard him say proudly, Since Miss Qi is destined to fall for me, I might as well take the initiative and create that chance encounter. It'll surely become a romantic story someday. I silently listened to Sheng Yanzhi, noticing that as he spoke, his manner was certain and confident. He truly believed that once Qi Youyou saw him, she'd fall in love at first sight. That's some confidence. Who on earth gave him that confidence? After Sheng Yanzhi finished, he saw that I hadn't spoken and asked me, Do you see a problem, Mr. Lu? Or can you not do it? He stared at me with a slightly aggressive air. I thought to myself, he's testing me. He wants to see what I'm capable of. Looks like this job really is crucial. If I mess it up, years of planning could vanish overnight. So I have to do this perfectly. With that thought, I smiled and said, Young Master Sheng, give me 5 minutes. Sheng Yanzhi glanced at his watch. You get 2. Handle it yourself. I stood and left my seat, walking to a corner at the far end. I called Qi Youyou directly. She answered quickly. What is it? You have a gathering tonight? I asked while watching Sheng Yanzhi. Zhou Jianing organized it. Why A-Chen? Qi Youyou asked in confusion. I ignored her question. Do you know Sheng Yanzhi? Qi Youyou replied. I've heard of him. Why? Is this about him? He's attending your gathering tonight. Did you know? Qi Youyou was silent for a moment, then said, Zhou Jianing knows him pretty well. Tonight's gathering was arranged for him. As soon as she said that, I understood. This is Sheng Yanzhi testing my ability. He deliberately set this up, just to see if I could uncover it. In the end, I told her, Sheng Yanzhi will attend tonight. I didn't even wait to hear Qi Youyou's reply, and hung up directly. Then I suddenly remembered that after yesterday, I'd even avoided breakfast with Qi Youyou this morning, afraid she'd ask about my girlfriend, or what happened that night. Hopefully she's already forgotten. I put my smile back on, and returned to my seat. Don't worry, young Master Sheng. Tonight, you and Qi Youyou will have a beautiful encounter. Sheng Yanzhi chuckled. I'll look forward to it. Then he left arrogantly. Sheng Yanzhi had barely walked out when Xie Lidong called. I told him what happened. With Sheng Yanzhi. Xie Lidong went silent for a few seconds, then burst out laughing. Ha ha ha. He laughed so hard he fell out of his office chair. This young Master Sheng is really something. Xie Lidong was speechless. After thinking for ages, he found only one description. He only said, confident. Yeah, very, very confident. But I wasn't amused. I thought, Sheng Yanzhi clearly has a goal. He must have planned long ago to use tonight to get close to Qi Youyou. Why is he so confident that Qi Youyou will like him? Seeing no reply from me, Xie Lidong asked, A-Chen, are you afraid sparks will fly between them? I couldn't answer. Afraid? Not exactly. I just hate the thought of Sheng Yanzhi getting close to Qi Youyou. It makes me unhappy. But I have no status or right to tell Qi Youyou not to see Sheng Yanzhi. At that thought, a bitter ache rose in my chest. You're worrying for nothing. Miss Qi could never have sparks with Sheng Yanzhi. He comforted me. You've seen it yourself. All these years, has Miss Qi ever kept another man around? With her aloof, untouchable aura, who would even dare approach her? Xie Lidong's words made me laugh. He was right. Over the years, plenty of men had tried to approach Qi Youyou, but every single one failed. I was the one exception. Who could possibly be closer to Qi Youyou than me? At 9 p.m., I brought Sheng Yanzhi to Qi Youyou's private business gathering. He wasn't happy that I came along. Seeing his displeasure, I explained, this is a private gathering. With me here, young Master Sheng can get first-hand information on Miss Qi in real time. But when he heard that, he snorted. You don't need to come. Just give me the address. You're meddling for no reason. I said nothing. Although I knew he didn't need me, I still wanted to know whether Qi Youyou treated other people differently from me. And exactly how differently. Sheng Yanzhi couldn't sway me, though unwilling. He tacitly allowed me to follow behind him. I handed the invitation to the staff, and they let us inside. At Miss Qi's private gathering, the only guests present were Qingyang's most elite young ladies. At that moment, the 4 women at the party were gossiping about Qi Youyou. I actually saw Miss Qi playing some kids' mobile game. That Honor of Kings thing. Oh, I know that one. Her young master lost 10 games in a row recently and stayed mad for 2 hours. Miss Qi is grinding ranks for him. Just then, a 3rd young lady joined in and said mysteriously, I haven't seen her young master in ages. Her voice abruptly stopped because she'd seen the young master herself. Our eyes met. She smiled awkwardly and shut her mouth. The other 3 young ladies froze when they saw me, then looked at Sheng Yanzhi beside me. Their expressions turned rather meaningful. I smiled at them, then whispered in Sheng Yanzhi's ear, Young Master Sheng, Miss Qi is inside. Sheng Yanzhi nodded and walked in. I followed right behind. Once we'd gone far enough, they exchanged looks and whispered, What's the young master up to this time? He brought the Sheng Heir to set up a blind date for Miss Qi. Didn't he get mad for ages? The last time Miss Qi went on a blind date? Why is he suddenly introducing someone now? In the end, they unanimously decided to stay out of the young master's business. If he truly lost his temper, none of them would have a peaceful day. So the group fell silent. As Sheng Yanzhi and I entered, a game voice announcement rang out. Pinnacle. That was insanely cool. My God, Qi Youyou, you're my goddess. At that moment, I wanted to run over and hug Qi Youyou and kiss her. But there were outsiders here, so I dropped the idea. Sheng Yanzhi stopped me and said, "Stay here. I'll go greet Miss Qi." I was curious too. Exactly how would young Master Sheng show off his charm and win Qi Youyou over? From here, I had a clear view of the woman on the sofa. She lounged lazily against it, her long, slender legs crossed. After fiddling with her phone for a while, she tossed it aside and complained, "It's just a stupid game. I don't know what A-Chen is so mad about. So mad he won't even eat. Is it really that serious?" I snorted inwardly. "Miss Qi, do you think everyone is a genius like you? Even a stupid game is hard to play." I looked at Sheng Yanzhi. He didn't rush to greet Qi Youyou. Instead, he poured 2 glasses of champagne. As he walked toward her, the champagne sloshed around in his glass. Don't tell me he's planning to spill it on Qi Youyou. That cliché move? No way. I just had that thought. When Sheng Yanzhi approached Qi Youyou, the drink swayed. Qi Youyou looked up warily. Her gaze was so cold that Sheng Yanzhi instantly froze. He froze, unable to react. Qi Youyou stared unhappily at the strange man. Then, when the corner of her eye caught me sitting nearby, the displeasure vanished from her eyes. She even curved her lips into a smile. Sheng Yanzhi quickly recovered, holding the champagne. He sat in the armchair beside Qi Youyou and said, "Miss Qi, I'd like to discuss a partnership." I secretly signaled Qi Youyou with my eyes. She looked away, glanced at Sheng Yanzhi for 1 second, then reopened her game. Being ignored didn't anger Sheng Yanzhi. He continued, "Miss Qi, you'll definitely be interested in this partnership. It's about the young master at the Liu residence." Hearing it concerned me, I became interested and sat up straight, listening closely. Only then did Qi Youyou finally look at Sheng Yanzhi. "Miss Qi, you may not know this, but because you've remained unmarried for years, there have long been rumors about you and young Master Liu." Qi Youyou chuckled. "You got some nerve. Do you even know what you're saying?" Hearing that, Sheng Yanzhi clearly felt Qi Youyou's anger, but forced himself to continue. "I know you stand above everyone and don't care about gossip, but the young master is still very young. What if it affects him? So at a time like this, if he got engaged, the rumor would collapse on its own. Across all of Qingyang, only I am worthy of being your husband." I silently watched Sheng Yanzhi perform, thinking, although his flirting tactics were extremely old-fashioned, I had to admit, he still had a certain presence. You could even call him charming. If I were Qi Youyou, I might actually agree. That thought made me nervous as I looked at her. By coincidence, Qi Youyou glanced at me just then. The corner of her mouth curved almost imperceptibly. Then she said slowly, "Your proposal isn't bad. I'll consider it." I froze. What does that mean? What does she mean? I'd only been thinking that she might agree. And she actually agreed? Having won Qi Youyou's approval, Sheng Yanzhi smiled confidently. We could discuss how to proceed. For example, we could attend a few events together first. That wouldn't be impossible. Qi Youyou thought for a moment and nodded. "Sure. How about dinner together tonight?" The instant those words fell, my face darkened. I stared hard at Qi Youyou, thinking, as the lofty Miss Qi, she's always rejected men who approach her cold and distant. Yet Sheng Yanzhi said only 3 things, and she agreed? What does that mean? It clearly means Qi Youyou wants something long-term with him. Then what about me? What am I supposed to be? At that thought, I muttered through clenched teeth, "Qi Youyou, good for you. I'm never talking to you again." I had no mood to keep listening. So I turned around and left. I didn't leave the venue. I went to the outside lounge and furiously texted Qi Youyou. I didn't even notice the lounge door opening. She simply watched me while her phone kept vibrating from my messages. Then Qi Youyou closed the door and stood before me. I suddenly found myself staring into her eyes. She raised a brow and said, A-Chen, you called me a bad woman? I remembered how she'd responded to Sheng Yanzhi. I snapped back, aren't you? You just agree with whatever he says. Since when did the famous Miss Qi become this brainless? Move. I don't want to talk to you. I stood up, pushed past her, and tried to leave. But Qi Youyou hooked her arm through mine again and teased. Since the young master brought him, of course I had to show him some respect. Otherwise the young master gets angry and starts cursing people. I said through clenched teeth. Oh, really? Then thank you so much, Miss Qi, for showing me respect. Qi Youyou smiled. You're welcome. I don't give just anyone face, only our young master. I snorted and deliberately said sarcastically, then Miss Qi, go get busy. Young Master Sheng is still waiting for you. I'm off to find my future girlfriend. Bye-bye. Qi Youyou's expression instantly darkened. Future girlfriend? You're already together? I pretended to be surprised. Of course. While I'm still young, I should enjoy dating. I don't want to end up like Miss Qi, still single at this age, even needing some fake partnership. It's honestly laughable. I shook off her hand and headed for the door. A few steps later, I heard the woman's voice behind me. You have two choices. Either end things with that person yourself, or I'll go to her personally and make things clear. I turned around. The woman stared at me expressionlessly. Though I was panicking inside, I stubbornly replied, you can see other people. Why can't I? Qi Youyou. Just because you're older than me doesn't mean you can control my love life. Qi Youyou ignored what I'd said. She only continued, A-Chen, don't make me say it twice. I didn't want to argue anymore either. I simply waved her off and made up an excuse. Sheng Yanzhi is still waiting outside. I'm going. Qi Youyou watched me leave and restrained the urge to drag me back. He's family. Don't get angry. Calm down. Calm down. But less than a minute later, Qi Youyou made a call. I asked you to investigate one person and you found nothing. Why am I keeping a bunch of useless fools? Within 24 hours, I want to know who the woman in his heart is. Meanwhile, I calmed down and returned to the gathering. When Sheng Yanzhi saw me, he frowned and said unhappily, I was just looking for you. Gone so long. Where did you go now? Sorry. My stomach was a little upset, so I stayed in the restroom longer. Sheng Yanzhi's eyes were full of pride and confidence. He said delightedly, forget it. None of that matters. We should go. Oh, I have good news for you. Miss Qi invited me to dinner with her. The mood I just managed to fix was shattered again by that one sentence. Qi Youyou, what exactly are you trying to do? Someone who never asks anyone out actually invited him herself? No, something is definitely wrong here. I wanted to storm back and demand an answer. But right now, I still had to see Sheng Yanzhi out. I smiled as I escorted him away. The moment he left, I shoved open the private room door with a loud bang. The young ladies inside were about to get angry, but when they saw it was Miss Qi's young master, they pretended nothing had happened. At a glance, I spotted Qi Youyou preparing to play mahjong. I frowned, and an idea came to me. He walked over, smiling sweetly. Miss Qi, quite the mood you're in. I was halfway through when another woman cut me off. A-Chen. Perfect, you and Miss Qi are family. The speaker was Zhou Shi, one of Qi Youyou's close friends. I ignored her and continued sarcastically. I'm certainly not family with Miss Qi. What if Sheng Yanzhi suddenly comes back and sees us? That'd be hard to explain. The moment I said that, the person seated after Qi Youyou quickly got up to leave. Zhou Shi sensed the bad atmosphere and tried to escape too. I still have something to do. You guys play. I'll head out. But I stopped her, so she could only backpedal. I do have something later. I'll play 2 rounds, then leave. I ignored that and asked, Sister Qi, where are the stakes? Zhou Shi stole a glance at Qi Youyou and said, we're just playing casually. No real stakes. Come on. What's fun about playing for nothing? I remember Miss Qi is building a resort in the southern suburbs. If Sister Youyou loses, how about giving it to today's winner? Then, I looked at Qi Youyou provocatively. Zhou Shi didn't dare say a word. Clearly, the young master was upset. Because Miss Qi was going out to dinner. Qi Youyou might spoil him, but she certainly wouldn't spoil us. If the young master started making trouble, we'd be the ones suffering. No, better finish this hand and find an excuse to leave. Zhou Shi looked toward Qi Youyou. Qi Youyou nodded and said calmly, then let's begin. Zhou Shi exchanged a look with another young lady and sighed. They had a play along. I clearly had angered Event, sitting after Qi Youyou. I kept Qi Youyou from drawing. I claimed every tile I could. My whole goal was to target Qi Youyou. After 2 rounds, Qi Youyou was out of chips. Zhou Shi unexpectedly became the winner. Well, I'll have my lawyer transfer the resort paperwork to you later. Qi Youyou said it without hesitation. I sat in my seat, my anger finally easing a little. Qi Youyou looked at me, smiled faintly, and slowly said, what a shame. That resort was originally going to be for A-Chen's private parties. Then she put on a regretful expression and left. I sat there, thinking in disbelief. Wait, what? So the resort was being built for me? No wonder she wasn't angry when I deliberately made her lose. Didn't I just shoot myself in the foot? Damn it. Qi Youyou, you bad woman. Thinking that, I glared resentfully at Zhou Shi. Zhou Shi hurriedly said, A-Chen, if you want it, I can give it back. But you need your sister's approval. Otherwise, I waved my hand and pretended to answer casually. Habet. I never said I wanted it back. Sister Shi, it's yours. Then I got up and left. At the door, I called Xieli Dong. Are you free? Let's go have some fun at a bar. I was mid-sentence when a car stopped in front of me. The rear window rolled down, revealing Qi Youyou's elegant profile. She looked at me, raising a brow. A-Chen, you've gotten bold. Now you even dare go to bars? Careful, or I'll keep you from going out for the next 6 months. I asked directly, Sister Youyou, why are you having dinner with Sheng Yanzhi? A-Chen, take a guess. Then she rolled up the window and drove away, leaving me alone, grinding my teeth. Qi Youyou banned the bar. I could only take the alcohol to Xieli Dong's place. Xieli Dong had planned to go riding, but had to cancel. Xieli Dong, just tell me, what does she mean? Hasn't she always had no interest in men? Why did 3 sentences from Sheng Yanzhi earn him dinner? Why? What does she mean? After hearing me out, Xieli Dong added dryly, what else could it mean? She's a little interested in Sheng Yanzhi. That left me speechless. I stared at Xieli Dong, wanted to speak, but unable to. So without another word, I started drinking. Xieli Dong watched me. After a long while, he sighed and said, A-Chen, what exactly are you feeling wronged about? You stayed by Miss Qi's side for more than 10 years. Even if she really goes out for one meal, how could that possibly mean she's dating him? That doesn't make sense. Hearing that, I fell silent. Then he patted my shoulder and continued with a sigh. Forget everything else. Just think about your rebellious phase a few years ago. Qi Youyou tried to discipline you, and you even argued with her. You made Miss Qi that angry. Anyone else would have been thrown out long ago. But her? She couldn't even bear to say anything harsh to you. Can you really not see that she has feelings for you? So if you truly like her, stop being stubborn. Why not just tell her? I gripped my glass and thought, of course I know how good she is to me, but because I know it so well, I'm even more afraid. What if she's only used to having me by her side? Once I cross that line, I may lose even my reason to stay beside her. So, until I know she likes me too, I can never let her know I've fallen for her. We sat in silence for a while. Then Xieli Dong laughed and said, love between adults isn't that complicated. If you want her to love you, go find her. I froze mid-drink. Then I said, "You're right. I'm going back now. Once I decide, I act." I finished the last bottle, stood up drunk, and insisted on going home. Xieli Dong came through and drove me home before leaving. Meanwhile, Qi Youyou had just returned from a dinner party. She'd had quite a bit to drink too. After her shower, she was just about to sleep when something fell off. She turned and saw me, then asked gently, "A-Chen, why are you here?" I ignored her question and pulled her straight into my arms. My sudden move caught her off guard. She froze. Only after a while did she remember to push me away. Once she did, I started acting drunk again. "I don't care. You can't leave me. If you leave me tonight, I'll never talk to you again." Helpless, she could only hold my hand and coax me. I made a huge fuss, but one coaxing calmed me. Happy that she held my hand, I gave a silly hee-hee laugh and fell asleep hugging Qi Youyou. Late that night, I jolted awake. I didn't dare stay. I climbed out of bed in the dark and quickly fled Qi Youyou's room. I slipped out through the back door, then called Xieli Dong to come pick me up and clean up the surveillance footage too. Not long after, Xieli Dong arrived on his motorcycle. He tossed me a helmet. "I thought you'd wake up and finally confess, yet you still ran away." Xieli Dong teased me. I held the helmet and stared at the back seat. After a pause, I said, "Ride this back. Bring a car instead." "What are you doing?" I avoided answering. "Don't ask. Just switch vehicles like I said." In the end, Xieli Dong called someone to drive me back to his place. Once we reached Xieli Dong's home, he had just finished handling all of yesterday's footage. Xieli Dong said seriously, "I need to remind you of two things. First, I fixed the footage, but don't forget to remove the USB drive. Second, that girlfriend you made up out of thin air, Miss Qi is investigating her. Be careful these next few days." Hearing that, I frowned. If she really investigates, the lie could unravel easily. He nodded and said, "So, I found someone to pretend to be your girlfriend. She's back in her hometown right now. I have her profile here. Study it over the next few days." I patted his shoulder and said, "Good brother. Thank you for worrying so much about my love life. You've worked hard." He waved it off. "You're welcome. I just have a hard life." With everything arranged, I didn't hesitate. I went straight to sleep, but I slept badly. I kept tossing and turning in bed. I got up at dawn. When I went to the living room for water, I happened to find Xieli Dong working on his laptop. I curiously leaned closer. Xieli Dong immediately closed the laptop and looked at me teasingly. I nudged his arm with my cup. "Qi Youyou, did she find clues about my fake girlfriend?" Xieli Dong leaned back and tapped the table. "Half right. I already coordinated the fake girlfriend story. She won't be exposed for now, but Sheng Yanzhi has been making big moves lately. Watch him." My fingers tightened around the cup. What's he trying now? Does he really think one dinner will secure a marriage alliance with Youyou? There's more. Xieli Dong opened the screen and pulled up chat logs and evidence screenshots. He's winning over Sheng family elders, spreading marriage rumors, trying to use Qi Youyou to seize power. He's also paying experts to restore footage from the night the old master vanished, hoping to use you to restrain Qi Youyou. I lower my eyes in silence. When I was 8, my elder brother had me abducted overseas. Qi Youyou saved me. I've stayed by her side all these years, planning to reclaim the Sheng family assets, while hiding my love for her, the act at the bar, the fake girlfriend, even spitefully losing the resort she built for me. All of it was me testing her. I was afraid that if I revealed my feelings, I'd lose even the right to stay beside her. Xieli Dong patted my shoulder. "Stop hiding. Qi Youyou knows everything. You drunkenly barged into her room. I altered your game records. You fled abroad 7 days ago. She knew it all. When she agreed to dinner with Sheng Yanzhi, she was only baiting him out and forcing you to face your feelings." I jerked my head up, completely stunned. "She knows everything?" Xieli Dong pushed a thick stack of evidence toward me. "Why else do you think?" She indulges every little tantrum of yours. Here's every scheme Sheng Yanzhi planned. I organized it all. Now we just confront him. I thanked Xie Dong and rushed back home. Qi Youyou sat waiting for me in the living room, a cup of warm tea by her hand. Hearing movement, she looked up at me. Her eyes were gentle. Xie Dong explained everything to you? I sat beside her, full of guilt. Sister Youyou, I'm sorry. There was never any female college classmate. I made it all up to make you jealous. That night 7 days ago, I panicked and fled abroad. At heart, I was just a coward who didn't dare face you. I've clung to your side all these years, partly to reclaim what belongs to my family, and partly because I crave your warmth. I was afraid you'd hate these feelings, so I kept acting and testing you. When I saw you agree to dinner with Sheng Yanzhi, it hurt so much inside. Long ago, you stopped being just a sister to me. Qi Youyou chuckled and rubbed my hair. When I found you more than 10 years ago, I recognized the Sheng family's jade pendant on your neck. Every lie and little thought of yours. I knew them all. I tolerated all your nonsense because I was waiting for you to confess on your own. As for marrying Sheng Yanzhi, I never took it seriously. I agreed to meet him, only to gather evidence of his Sheng family schemes and spreading rumors. She handed me a thick file. Inside is all the evidence that your elder brother harmed the old master. I arranged dinner with Sheng Yanzhi tonight. You'll come with me. We'll settle everything. That night, Sheng Yanzhi wore an immaculate suit, still arrogant and conceited. Seeing us arrive together, his smile grew wider. Miss Qi, about the marriage alliance, have you made your decision? Qi Youyou pushed the evidence toward him. Stop acting. The evidence of you spreading rumors and suppressing the branch family is all here. Sheng Yanzhi read the file. His face instantly turned pale. All his arrogance vanished. I stopped hiding my identity and spoke calmly. I am Sheng Chen, the rightful heir of the Sheng family. You dreamed of seizing power through marriage, but we already have all the evidence. Since you're from a branch of the Sheng family, I won't pursue criminal charges. I'll reclaim all your shares and send you to a subsidiary to learn properly. If you keep your head down and work, you still have a future. If you try anything again, you know the consequences. Sheng Yanzhi knew there was no way back. Dejected, he left. Only we two remained. I held her hand tightly. I confessed, Sister Youyou, I don't want to be just a child behind you, who throws tantrums anymore. I'll clean up the Sheng family's mess. For the rest of my life, will you let me stay beside you, openly and rightfully? Qi Youyou's eyes filled with tenderness. She gently squeezed my hand back. A-Chen. I waited more than 10 years to hear that. Half a month later, I successfully reclaimed all Sheng family assets and entrusted them to loyal old Chen. I finally put down years of schemes and burdens. The cybersecurity company Xie Dong and I built kept thriving. Zhou also voluntarily returned. The southern resort I'd lost in anger. The resort was filled with my favorite game machines and became our private place together. That weekend, the courtyard bloomed, fragrant with flowers. I took out the diamond ring and knelt on one knee before Qi Youyou. Sister Youyou, I used to hide behind acting, concealing my feelings. From now on, no more lies, no more tests. I am Sheng Chen, and also your A-Chen alone. I'll stay with you year after year. Will you marry me? Her eyes reddened slightly. She held out her hand and let me slide the ring onto her finger. She answered softly, I will. The housekeeper, servants, and Xie Dong applauded together. The camera captured the warm moment. Sunlight covered the entire courtyard. The autumn wedding was held as planned. Xingyang business friends and old Sheng family retainers all attended. The hall was filled only with blessings, with no more conflict or schemes. After marriage, we each managed our careers. Those ridiculous days of jealousy and lies all became sweet memories belonging only to us. Greedy Sheng Yanzhi was kept firmly in check. Our love was finally fulfilled on both sides. From then on, we stayed together day and night. Our love steady and lasting.